Hi, everybody. I am Dan Duffy, otherwise Quad Chef to some. I'm going to be doing some chili lime barbecued beef fajitas with a flank steak today. And yeah, we're gonna get started. So the first thing we're gonna do, is marinate our steak. I did that the night last night, so I'll just go grab that and I'll show you guys kind of what I got going on there. So in this Ziploc bag, I have a flank steak that I've marinated with lime juice, Serrano pepper, garlic, chili peppers, and cilantro. And I put it in the fridge overnight. You don't have to do it overnight. You can do it up to 6 hours. You can do it the morning of, but best results is going to be overnight. And then also take it out of the fridge, probably about like a half hour to an hour before you're going to make it, just so the steak comes up to room temperature. It makes it for a more even cook when you go to grill it on the barbecue. So now I've started my barbecue. We're gonna let that heat up. Just gotta close the lid. Now I'm going to just cut up the vegetables for the fajitas. We're gonna grill our steak, but we're gonna pan fry the vegetables. So I've got 3 different colors of bell peppers here. I'll just turn my camera down. All right. So got my cutting board here. So do our garlic first. So I already smashed one of them. Just take the spine of the knife, just put it over top and give it a good crush. Then it makes it a lot easier to get the skin off of the garlic. I'm just gonna take the knife, pull the skin away. Okay. And we're just gonna mince this. So I'm gonna put it in a nice little, all 3 of them in the pile here. I'm just gonna take the knife and rock it back and forth over top of it. So we got small little pieces. Let's give it a rough chop. It'll be okay. I'm just gonna dump this in a bowl that I have here off to the side. Okay. Now I'm going to take onion. Get started there. Okay. Let's cut off the end. I'm just gonna slice it. Now, we're gonna be cutting up peppers as well. We want everything to be the same size so it all cooks evenly. So we're gonna kind of cut this into like decent size strips. Just put this off to the side in the bowl with the garlic. Take our other onion. Same thing. Sometimes it's easier just to take the first layer of the onion off rather than just that outside kind of papery skin. Also usually got little nicks and gross stuff in it as well, so you probably just want to get rid of it anyways. Again. Into the bowl. Okay. What I like to do is stand the pepper straight up and go kind of close to the middle, and then just go straight down, and then you can kind of keep the pea or the seeds and the white stuff there, the pill on the inside, and then we don't really have to deal with all that stuff there. Just put it to the side. Okay. And we'll just cut this into strips. Remember, we all want to keep it about the same size so everything cooks evenly in the pan. We'll just put that in the bowl together with the garlic and the onion. Let's take that up. One more pepper. Same way, just standing it up and just cutting it down the side so you don't get any of the seeds or the pill. Always find it makes it so much easier to use a really sharp knife, especially because I don't have that much hand function, that a sharp knife makes all the difference. Okay, so all the vegetables are cut up. Grill is up to temperature. Pretty much going to put everything on at the same time. The steak is pretty thin, so it won't take that long to cut or to cook, and neither will the vegetables. So I'm just going to get rid of my cutting board here first. We'll just put it on a medium-high heat. Let this come up to temp. Okay. Once this gets up to temperature, we want to make sure our pan is hot before we put it in there. We don't want it to put stuff into a cold pan. So we're just going to wait a minute. I really like these induction cooktops. I mean, before I moved into an adapted apartment, like where there was a kitchen, or a stove, I was able to get in underneath. I got this, and I was able to just plug it in on my kitchen table, and I was able to do a lot of things with it. It was very handy because I wasn't able to get to a stove. I think there were $80 or something like that from IKEA. So add some olive oil to the pan. Just gonna throw one pepper in to see if it sizzles. And it does, so we're good. And that's all of our garlic, and onions, and peppers all at the same time right into the thing. We're just gonna season it with some salt. salt is going to help the water come out of the vegetables and cook a little bit faster, but also tastes nice. Then I'm going to add some cumin. Cumin's a really good spice to use, especially like with your any kind of like tacos or anything like that. Like you have your go-to Old El Paso taco seasoning. It's pretty much just cumin. We're just gonna add that in here. There. Just give that a stir. Okay. I'm going to throw the steak on the barbecue. And now I'm gonna switch. Yeah. You want to make sure your grill is nice and hot. Pretty much you want to put it on high. My grill is a little bit different. It's not your regular gas grill. It's a pellet grill. So I have actual wood pellets that burn in my thing. So I'm just going to open it up. Kind of see the flames down in there. I'm going to put the steak on. This is the flank steak. It's really good for these kinds of like fajitas or stir fries, that kind of thing. It can be a tougher steak, but if you cut it a certain way, it gets really tender. I'll show you how to. It's not going to take too long for this steak to cook, especially over the hot heat like that. But we got to make sure we watch our vegetables. Make sure we keep giving these a stir. You don't want them to get like too charred on one side, so you want to keep them moving. Just over a medium-high heat, just so they just get a little bit softer. Make sure you want to give these a little bit of a taste. Make sure we salted them enough. I'm going to add a little bit more cumin to them. It's always important just to taste. That way you make sure you didn't add too much or didn't add enough, right? You can always add more. You never really take away. It's kind of tough. So you always want to add little amounts and then taste the food and then go back and you can always add more. You don't want to cook them too much. Like you don't want them to be overcooked and be soft. You still want to have some bite to your vegetables when you put them in your fajitas. Okay, so I'm just gonna check on the steak. Whenever I cook on the barbecue and like chicken, beef, or anything like that, I always have a thermometer. This is just a digital thermometer. And we're just gonna poke the steak. We're looking for about like 100 or 125 for like a medium rare steak, because we're gonna take the steak afterwards and we're gonna cut it up and we're gonna mix it in with the veg, and it's gonna cook a little bit more. We'll go all the way through to the other side before I cut it. We still got a bit more. We're at like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We want 125, so we're just gonna wait a bit. Give them one little stir here. Put the heat down nice and low so they just stay warm. Spread them out. Take a lid and put the lid on top. Good. Okay. It's gonna take the steak off of the barbecue, check the temperature on still a little bit. Just a couple more minutes on that steak, and then we'll take it off. We will cut it up. We let it rest first, then cut it up and put it in with the vegetables. All right. Steak is done. Take it off the grill. We're going to let it rest. Close my grill here. While we're letting the steak rest, I'm going to take some tortillas and I'm just going to put them on the grill. Let them toast. Just gonna organize my station a little bit here. You can see that it's got a nice char on the outside, both sides. You can kind of see there's these cut marks. There's score marks that I put in the steak yesterday when I went to marinate it. It just allows the marinade to penetrate into whatever meat you're trying to marinate a lot better if you just give it a couple little scores. Not too deep, just run a knife over top and just give a couple little slices in it. Now, the key to these, when you're cooking, grilling steak or chicken or whatever, you want to let the whatever you're cooking, you want to let it rest. Those the juices that are inside the meat, you want to let it cool down a little bit. Otherwise, it just runs out of the meat onto the plate, and then whatever you just cooked gets really dry. So you want to make sure you let it rest. Another thing with flank steak is there's a certain way to cut it. You want to cut it against the grain. So this steak, you can see the grains are going this way. So we're going to want to cut it this way, lengthways, so that it gets tender. If we cut it this way with the grain, it'd be really chewy and tough to eat. So it's really important that you cut it a certain way. Okay. I think that's the best enough yet. Okay. But because we're making this into fajitas, it'll be easier. I'm going to cut it once down the middle, so it's smaller strips, and it'll be easier to cut. So we'll just go right down the middle here. And you just want to then nice thin strips. It's a little bit dangerous, so we'll cut that. Put the rest of the beef in with the vegetables. Okay. Set this off to the side. So I'll show you guys kind of what I'm doing here. So we have it. We have flank steak fajitas. So now that it's all mixed up, I will take this mixture and put it in the tortilla with one of the tortillas that I had on the barbecue. And some vegetables. And I wish I could share this with you guys. Might be a little bit too much. And that's it.